March of the Writers 2025. The prompt for day 12 was, I'm catching up, where are you still at? 2024 was the year of deleting apps and saying no to events, websites, etc. Which apps and events are you keeping and why? All right, so as many of you know, I became disabled in 2023, so my 2024 was a trial and error of what I would still be doing and not still be doing. I attempted an event which didn't go so well because of my disability, so I opted not to attend that event again and instead went on the Lovelit cruise, which turned out to be a wonderful event, fully ADA. I give it 5 stars for that. And there were 10 of us authors and 100 people in the group total. So it was a nice, intimate event where we actually got to have dinner together and chat about books and kind of get to know each other and also do fun things and travel together. It was fun. I would wholeheartedly attend again. I am sitting out 2026 to work on my PT so that I can be more adept at using 2 walking poles instead of the walker with wheels. Was not able to go without the walker on the trip this year. So that's one of my goals. And let's see. So I also went to an event in Gainesville, which was interesting. I had not been to it before. It was a multi-genre event. I don't believe it either didn't reach the romance readers in the area or they just didn't show up, because I would say maybe 3 people stopped at my table long enough to even look at a cover. Everyone else was walking in and out, so I'm not sure if they were there for certain particular authors or maybe they were friends and family or what, but I probably won't be going back to that one. However, I did meet a lot of authors and make some other connections that, of course, I will keep up with. So my take on going to events is I like the smaller ones. Of course, they need to be fully ADA for me to go. And I don't drive, so I've got to be able to get there. My husband usually drives me. So I have to be able to get there. They have to be able to fit a 26-inch rolling walker right now. And sometimes the tables are jammed so close together you can't get behind them, or they've got you in a corner or in a wall where you can't get behind your table. That doesn't work for somebody like me. And it's interesting because they'll say their event is fully ADA, and then you get there and you find out they're not. So I am not exactly leaning towards the great big events. For me, 200 authors is too many. 100 is pushing it. I might consider one with 100, but that's pushing it. I prefer the smaller events. And I also really enjoyed having a chance to actually chat with readers. You know, if it's just they're at your table, sign a book, off they go, sign a book, off they go. You could kind of do that from home, right? There's no real connection made. I find that frustrating. For me, the events aren't so much about selling books as they are connecting with readers. So that is my #1 goal. Of course, I love to be around book people, and writing is an isolating thing. So is being disabled, and so is living in a motorhome. So I have a triple isolating set of things. So I treasure the times when I can get together with book people. Now, I'm into online book groups, and one is Fresh Fiction, which meets every Wednesday night. I try never to miss that one. I absolutely love that group. The gals are wonderful. Once in a while we have a fella in there. The guest authors are interesting. I really enjoy that, and talking about books, it gets me some social with some other women talking about books, so that's a win-win. Then I'm in the Lovelit Cruise book club, which meets at the last Tuesday of every month, and they have a particular book that they focus on, and that is the guest author for that month. So that's also fun. I had made a goal for myself to read, of the 10 of us, of course, there are 9 other authors. I wanted to make sure I read one book by every author that I was sailing with. And I managed to meet the goal, like squeaking in, trying to get it done before I got on the ship. So it helped me know what they write, and it also helped me get to know them just a little bit before I ever set foot on the ship. So that was nice. I can't always keep up with the books in a book club to read them because, of course, a lot of my time I have to read my own things, and I have to, keep up with other things. So I can get really behind on my to be read list. I have set up with a library here in North Carolina because we're living here now, and I changed my residence to here, so I'm getting PT here 2 times a week. So I'm in waiting rooms a lot with my Kindle. So I'm using my Kindle more than I used to, trying to catch up with all, like 600 books on there. I'm trying to catch up with books that I have on there. But I've probably read more books than last year than I have ever since I published, simply for the fact that I have so many medical appointments, which has me in the vehicle a lot going somewhere and then sitting in a waiting room waiting. So I just will read on my Kindle. Instead of playing on my phone, I read on my Kindle. So let's see. Things I'm staying on. What's on my phone? What's on my phone? Okay. I'm on my phone. What am I looking for it for? That is silly. Okay, I have Discord on my phone. I put Discord on my phone. I used to be on Discord, but it wasn't on my phone, but I put it on there when I set up my VIP reader group on Discord. So it wasn't just me going there to talk to my sons, family, friends that are on Discord. It was specifically going to my group on Discord, my server, so that I can chat with my friends. So I've got that with me also in the waiting room that I can do. What else might I do? Apps. I like Instagram. I once in a blue moon go to Threads. I didn't figure out TikTok, so I have a page there, but I kind of forget I need to figure out how to get in there and look at it. Right? I love YouTube, though. I do a lot of YouTube. I like to be on YouTube chatting. I like to be on YouTube watching and listening. And I've been doing YouTube for a long time. I was on YouTube before the whole book thing on YouTube took off, because I was in a belly dance troupe, and we shared music and watched performances and shared our performance with other people. And so I was on there constantly. YouTube, there were 2 things I went to. YouTube was one, and the other was iTunes. iTunes for my music collection. I had music from all around the world on there. So those 2 things were heavy visiting from me during my dance years, my full-time dance years. I taught and performed. So then when the book thing started, I started doing stuff on YouTube because I was already comfortable with it and liked it. But it wasn't really organized. I mean, I'm on there sometimes. I've read my poetry on there. I've read first chapter of short stories on there, and I've done just different things on there. There's a whole range of stuff on my YouTube because I love YouTube. So I might be playing on that on my phone. What else? Apps. Facebook has not been my friend over the last 2 years since the stroke. My Facebook page was taken down for 4 months, so basically I learned to live without it. So then when I got it back, I clean it up and I go there. I might go there at the most for an hour a day. I won't spend more than an hour a day on it. I don't trust myself to do my stuff all over there on Facebook, because if they cut me off again, then my readers don't see it. So when I do, stuff on Facebook, I'm either on somebody else's group doing a visit, or I'm answering people, or I've answered like a post we've done or something. But I'm real quiet in my reader group. I might share stuff in the reader group to send you over to Discord, but I'm mostly doing that. I don't have a lot of patience for wasting time on social media, so I either want to connect with you or watch some funny animal videos, or I just don't want to be there at all. So these are how I make my choices. Um, have a beautiful day, and thanks for watching my March of the Writers videos.